What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Bougie Sports Podcast. I just want to say I realized something during my intro that it gives you exactly the right amount of time to hit your vape and blow it out before you start. Because the last podcast that I did uh, on Chuck Bass's podcast, if you go back now, and you'll notice that I didn't know it was going to start that fast, and I was blowing out there's like all the smoke coming out. I was like, so go back and look right now and you'll see it. So first of all, always give people enough time to relax during the intro. Anyways, welcome to Bougie Sports, everyone. I am so happy that you're here and that you continue to come back, especially when I start the show like that. Have a couple things for you. First of all, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. I'm so close to getting 500 subscribers, and I would really love to get there. So if you can, don't be a hater, just press subscribe. You know you're watching, just press the subscribe button, especially if you're I think if anything, at least other content creators, we should like follow each other, because we know for sure the struggle, it is real. Speaking of struggles, I have two golf outings coming up. One on May 11th at the West Bank Golf Club in downtown Cleveland, which is basically not a real golf outing. It's like a golf, one of those type of places. And it's really just going to be about your outfits. So it's just going to be like a fun Instagram event where just come get drunk. Like that's kind of that. And then the next event is August 16th or 14th, whatever the Friday is, either one of those. And that is at Hopper Top Golf Course and Cleveland area as well. And all that money we're donating to Fantasy Cares, an organization that both of my two guests are very familiar with, because they're both into the fantasy football community, which Fantasy Cares is a big part of it, and part of the Scott Fish Bowl, which we will talk about later. No, let's just talk about it now. Let's go ahead and talk about my awesome guest, both who I met on the first time at the Fantasy Football Expo. Louie and Rachel, welcome.
Hello.
I think it's funny when you let in your like speaking of disasters. Here's two, and I thought you were going to talk about us, and you were just mentioning the golf. So I appreciate that. Also, let me just tell you one thing that I didn't like about your open, that you said that you got to. As a regular contributor, I feel like I've been on enough to call myself a regular contributor to Bougie Sports. I wasn't even in the open. I don't even get like one little. I'm gonna have to write a letter to the editor there and get that switched.
Yeah, that's not right. I'm gonna take care of that. You need to be in the opening.
You need to take care of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be on that. I mean, you've already had enough things go wrong. I mean, you are a Buffalo Bills fan, and it's already bad enough there. But yeah, so at least I could throw you in. And my other guest here, Rachel, is a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Woo!
Yes, every time I think about you, I think of the Lizzo song,
Minnesota.
I don't know. It's like my head, like, and the color purple. I don't know.
So we both hate Stephon Diggs now. We could be on this. Can we be on the same page of hating Stephon Diggs? He's ruined both of our organizations. And
yeah. Oh, you're a Bills fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's scorned us both.
Yeah, just like a bad ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. I have some. I'm going to bring up some of these. All right, now hold on. Wait a minute. Pause. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, let's. I always start from the back. Start it from the bottom. Now we're here. Let's go through some of these. Oh, there is.
Oh, man, Yvette.
Yes, at the expo. Fun times. That was unfortunate how overserved.
Joe Bryant, Mr. Joe Bryant from the Football Guys.
Okay.
Schmoozing with the celebrities there.
Yeah. Here we go.
Renee and Matt Ricord.
How cute.
Fun. My Viking shirt again. Oh, Marcus Grant, I gotta see all the big timers there.
Holy crap. Yeah, totally fan girl. How could you not? Because if you're a fan of fantasy football, you know Marcus Grant. Look at how cute you guys are. Now, this is what is this trashed pancakes?
Trash sandwiches. Yeah, trash sandwiches and
Well, that was
Tracy.
yes,
Yes.
cute. Yes.
Yes.
And of course, yeah, awesome. We have such a great, strong women in fantasy football.
We
It's
do,
fun, guys.
yes.
Oh, there
Howard
we go.
Bender,
Yes.
the legend Howard
Yes.
Bender.
Yeah. Fun. Oh, look at Louie.
Oh, there's Louie.
Wait, what am I doing? Did you like edit that? Like that looks like I'm sucking on your fingers. What's wrong with that? That one was so weird.
That's like great. That
Legit, we took like a lot of good pictures. I don't know if I ever told you this, but it'll be funny here. Listen, I don't know if I ever did. My ex-wife, we were separated for about 6 months at this point, and she told me that she started a dating profile the weekend of the expo because she saw all the pictures of me and you. And she thought we were dating. Swear to God. I don't even know if I told you, but she legit told me, she goes, I saw this you and that skank. She was, I'll be a skank. I'm gonna tell her. And she started a dating profile. So here I am, 6 months later, single as can be, and so is she does. Forget her.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a crazy thing talking about the fantasy football expo. Rachel, what was your favorite part? That was your first time at the expo?
It was my first time was back in 2022, so this last year was my second time. Every year it just gets better and better. There's so many great people and so many things to do. The drafting is fun, the different panels to see, and just the partying, drinking. It's a blast.
I didn't even know people would drink there. I mean, did they serve alcohol?
Yeah, come on, girl.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember that. I don't know why. Maybe it was like anxiety or something like that. I have no idea, but I just wanted to loosen up. I didn't want to loosen that much up. But hey, anyways.
Sounds like a fun night.
Yeah.
All I know is I lost somewhere around like 9 o'clock as we were wandering around trying to find a place for dinner. And then we went our separate ways. Then the rain started. That was that's when the pouring rain started.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a great time. It's great for networking. If you've never been, you have to go. Like Rachel said, like it's just for me personally, it's more about the party. For sure. But there's just tons of things. I did the draft the 1 year. That was fun. Still to this day, I've been there 4 years. I still haven't gone to the Sunday, like any kind of and it's not anything against them. It's just like I need to get home and so this year we'll see. I already told Yvette that I'm probably not going to make it this year, but I'm also a spontaneous person.
You are going to. Yeah.
We'll see.
I didn't make it Sunday either. And I live I went for 2 nights and that was that. I just wanted to there was something on here that I wanted to talk about real quick. So how many times did you say you went, Louie? 4 times?
This will be I've gone 4 times, I think.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's again, real fun event. I don't know if I'll make it this year with all the other things that I do. I'm going to Vegas the week before the season, the draft FFPC. And I wanted to try to get to Kentucky this year to do those drafts.
Oh yeah.
So honestly, it all just depends on work. I have a lot of trips set up this year and we'll just have to see how things go. Luckily, Canton's only a 3-hour ride for me. So I'm assuming that I'll get talked into it by you coming that Thursday, but we'll see.
I mean, why not? You would have so much FOMO, don't you think, Rachel, if you didn't go?
Yes. Where are you at, Louie?
I'm in Buffalo. So I am in
Okay.
Buffalo. So yeah, I'm
Oh, right
real
in Buffalo.
close, and it's not that bad of a drive. Me, Mike Shope, and Adam Krautwurst have done it together the last few years, and kind of done it as a group trip. Both of them have both said they're definitely not going. So now I don't mind. I don't feel alone at the the fantasy. You know, I'll go by myself. There's no alone there. I got
Oh.
you guys and a
Yeah, we'll
bunch
be
of
there.
friends. So
Yeah.
so I'm not as concerned by that. It's just I'm especially in my single days now, I don't like the plan. I don't like to have anything on the calendar. If on Thursday I'm feeling frisky, I'll come down to Canton, but I'm a very spontaneous person these days.
I think you'll feel frisky.
We'll see. We'll see.
I bet with you, Rachel. I bet you will. And you know what? And I can appreciate that, approach. Just to say you're not going instead of me. I'm the opposite. I'll say, yeah, I'll go, and then I won't.
You better go, Yvette. What's happening?
I'm so good. I have to redeem myself from last year. Last year was a blur. This year I'm going to actually talk to people with my eyes open and actually remember them. You know what I mean?
But have a little blur. Have a little blur.
Oh yeah. But I'm gonna stay there all 3 days this time. Real quick, I just wanted to remind everyone, if you haven't checked out the Squad Pod, they're killing it. They talked about wrestling, everything. You can watch that on YouTube. That's my golf event. I was gonna show that later, but hey, there it is now. I did things out of order here. Those are the 2 golf events. Pause it, take a picture of it, and let's fucking go. Yeah.
Do you play golf too, Yvette?
I have 1 or 2 times. But I want to learn how to play. I wanted to show you guys some of my better moments of the expo. As you can tell, I was not having a good time.
Yeah. That was Friday night, I'm sure. That's what I mean. You should tell your listeners, whether or not they're, there's a good looking guy. You should tell your listeners whether or not you, even if you don't like fantasy or not, I shouldn't say don't like, but you don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to be someone that's in the scene to go there. If you're just a fan of fantasy football, if you just want to kind of meet some people that you listen to or follow, it's easy for me to say, but is there any, there was no, there's no real tool bags in this industry. There was nobody that came off, even when the first couple of years I was there where I didn't know anybody, everybody's open, and not for nothing, most of us analysts love talking about ourselves. So if somebody comes and, wants to talk about my podcast, I will talk about my podcast. You come up to me and ask me.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's for anybody that wants to just party and have a good time and meet some great people.
Yes.
I feel like fantasy's getting cool now too. I know that you make this joke a lot too, Yvette, but it was all, I would get embarrassed when I tell people I have over 500 teams. But now, what? But now, fantasy's kind of cool, and I don't feel as much of a nerd, and I feel like people like me and you are changing the fantasy world. We're bringing cool, we're bringing sexy back to the fantasy football.
Yes.
I think it's when you're part of that, it is really sexy. If you could sit down and somebody could just talk fantasy football, and you're like, oh. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it could be taken as very nerdy. It could go both ways, because some people abuse it, like all things. If you didn't abuse it, and I think when people think of nerds, they think of the people that abuse it. When I say abuse it,
I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means. That could have been offensive. You might want to edit that out. I'm not sure, but you figure that out for yourself.
Overdo it all day, every day. I don't know. Whatever.
Isn't that all of us?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Whatever.
We're the cool nerds. We're the cool nerds. Come on.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Well, let's start to nerd out then. Let's nerd out.
Let's nerd out. Here we go.
Yeah. the actual NFL draft is approaching April 25th. Detroit. I've always been a fan of the draft. Sorry guys. Mostly because I'm a Browns fan, and we were always we always had early picks, because we were in a rebuilding stage for about 10, 20 years. So now I don't think I think we pick in the second round. I'm not even sure. But this draft class is very loaded with a lot of people. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I made this little thing here. Of course, I knew it wasn't going to start at the beginning, but that's all right. We don't care about minor details here. Let's just talk a little bit. We're not going to nerd out too much, but did that pause on him? All right, I knew that wasn't going to. Let's start. Okay, obviously Caleb Williams. He's going to go to the Chicago Bears.
Right.
So there's anything. What do you have to say about him besides the fact that he paints his nails and things like that?
He's just super talented. Yeah, he's just super talented, and yeah, he deserves to be the number one pick.
Yeah.
I think he's got all the tools. Everybody tries to dig up and make the obvious number one guy look like he's got some kind of flaw. But I think in this day of age, the Ryan Leafs and the Jamarcus Russells and the big misses of years past, I think are really hard to do anymore because of just how much technology there is and how much access there is to these games and these players and the interviews and all this stuff. I think Caleb's got it all. I know he's a weird personality, and also Chicago has ruined quarterbacks. I mean, Chicago has not had. I mean, you look at I think Jim McMahon is still like their leading passer. Maybe it's Cutler, but like the guys that they have in their leading passing is like brutal. So I hope this guy goes there. I mean, the Bears are one of the best organizations as far as just like, the history. The league is better when they're good. And so it's in NFL terms, I think he's going to be great, but we are a fantasy podcast here. He is by far the 1-1 in any kind of super flex rookie draft that you're at. And he might already be in like my top 5 quarterbacks in the league, like if I'm talking dynasty value. So I love him. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah. And I think there's no surprise except for I would absolutely love it if they did not draft him with the number one pick. I think it would be so funny, but and just to shock the hell out of everybody, wouldn't it? Make it like, I don't know. Like even if
surprise, we're going
like somebody else, like I don't know, like that would just be so funny. Like, haha, we got all you guys. We just wanted to mess up everyone's mock draft. So Malik Neighbors, I think there's a lot of talk between him and Marvin Harrison Jr. as the 2 top wide receivers in this draft. I guess it depends on where they go. What do you think about, like, I don't know. I heard a couple of things about I'm not sure if this is true because it's just the rumors that there might be some behavior or attitude problems, and that might have him go down in the draft. I don't know if you guys heard this. Do you think that would stop a team from drafting him? And would you take him over Marvin Harrison in any way?
I have not heard that, but I think the NFL is about money and they want the most talented person. So they're gonna take whoever is talented and can get their team where they want to go. So I think, and then, they have the PR team or whatever that will just hone in on all the behavioral side of things that they do with all other players that have that. So I think talent trumps everything else.
Absolutely.
With Neighbors, I haven't heard any. I mean, there's like I said, everyone kind of tries to knock these guys down, or they overanalyze. We talk about this draft for months, right? So like, it's just we overanalyze it to the T, and by this time, what color underwear they wear on a regular basis. It's too much. I have told you before, like I will not sit here and ever say I'm a tape guy, but I do watch whatever tape I can. But then I have the people in the industry that I trust their word, that their word, they are tape guys and they have done well. And all the analytics and all the tape guys, to me, these top 3 guys are like can't miss. Which order I'm going to put them in, I've said this too many times, and I always believe in lineage. So like I'm going to have Harrison Jr. as my top wide receiver only because of the last name, to be perfectly honest. And then I'll be really happy to get Neighbors or with Dunze with the next couple picks. I think that they're all going to be generational talents. So I'm excited for all 3.
Yeah. Rachel, who would you draft first? Harrison or Neighbors?
I think I'm leaning Neighbors just because the ballsiness with the way he plays. I think that's where I'm leaning.
Yeah. Either way, I think they're both going to be explosive, and I can't wait to see where they land. It'll be very exciting. Speaking of another one, do you think should he be in the same tier as the other 2 that we just talked about? I feel like, and some people talk about him in that tier, and I'll be honest, I'm one of the people that watch and listen to other people that do the research, like you were talking about, Louie. I'm never one of people to think that I do research or anything like that. I'm not trying to be that. And what I've seen and heard and read, it always feels that he's in a tier below the other 2. Do you guys feel that way, or could he be better?
Want to go, Rachel?
I don't think he could be better. I think it's a tier of the 3 of them. I guess if you are breaking it down, the other 2 might be slightly ahead, but it's still a tier of all 3 of them. So he's not like below them. It's just he might come a little after them.
Yeah, he started this process there for me, a little bit behind. Actually, it was for me when I first started my process was Harrison Jr. ahead of both of them by far, and then Neighbors, and then a little bit of a break, Dunze, and then the next 5 or 6 guys are all in the same tier to me. These 3 have gotten much closer for me, and so. Will I ever take a Dunze if I have one of the top 2 picks? Probably not. He's probably going to fall into my 3rd spot with the 3 guys. But for someone that plays as much as I do and is in many dynasty leagues as I am, if I have like a tons of 2s or 3s, like I'm going to try to get a little bit of both just so I don't miss out on the guy that wins. So I'll be looking to try to get them. In super flex leagues, you're probably going to be able to get the Dunze at like, in tight end premium. If Bowers goes before him, like you might be able to get him with like the 6th, 7th pick because quarterbacks are going to go early. Bowers and a tight end premium is going to go early. You might be able to get up and get them. I think the top 8 picks in this draft are just in a super flex league are just can't miss. You're fine. If you're in the bottom 4 of the first round, do whatever you can to get in the top 8, and you're going to get a great player.
Yeah, that's especially good, I think, for people that are watching that are more like casual fantasy football players, that these are good kind of tips. This is why I wanted to do these type of shows before. It's like these players that are like in your regular redraft leagues will probably be, I don't know where they're going to be ranked, but a lot of the names people won't even know, like a name like this. Can you imagine how far this person might fall? But for doing things like this is someone that you can grab at really great value in your league, in your redraft leagues, just by doing your research and things like that. Another person that might, be a little bit in the shadow of Caleb Williams, I think, is Drake May, who might have a chance of being better than him at the end of the year. I'm sure both of you guys would think that. What do you guys think about Drake May? And who has a 2nd pick? I can't remember off the top. I'll look.
Second pick is not New England, Commanders.
Commanders, yeah.
Yes. And so the reports are either May or Jaden Daniels there. There is a huge drop off for me in the quarterbacks after Caleb. Like all these guys have question marks in a in super flex leagues, I'm just eating up starting quarterbacks, especially with high draft capital. So I will be trying to get these guys, but I think after the wide receivers, to be honest, I think I'm taking all 3 wide receivers before I'm taking a second QB. And it all depends on draft spot and everything, but May is very Josh Allen-y, he's coming in with a lot of raw talent, but is that going to translate? I think Jaden Daniels is probably the safest when it comes to fantasy because he'll have the running upside and the rushing upside. So I think he'll get you, Justin Fields numbers, even if he sucks, Justin Fields wasn't a bad, fantasy quarterback because of the rushing. So I think Daniels is probably going to be my safe guy. May, I'm just not really excited. I could see Drake May. I'll make this. I love making really crazy predictions, but I don't think this is so crazy. I think May will be the 4th or 5th quarterback off the board this year. I think Jaden Daniels goes before him, and I think McCarthy might go before him. I could see May being that Aaron Rodgers where he just slips and slips and slips, and they keep showing him, crying in the green room. I don't know. We'll see, but I have a weird feeling that May is not going to be all he's cracked up to be.
I don't know. You might have had me until you compared him to Josh Allen. Then I knew everything you're talking about was coming from hate. Rachel, what do you think about Drake May?
He's one.
You think he's as bad as how Louie is hating on him because of the Josh Allen comparison?
Well, as a Vikings fan, he's one of the top contenders between him and JJ McCarthy, and I'm kind of leaning Drake May. I was looking at both the guys today, and I know there's a lot of hype for McCarthy, but May just seems like there's accuracy, and we definitely need to kind of step it up from where we were with Cousins for the Vikings team, at least. So they might have to trade up in order to get a guy like Drake May. But I don't know. I'm intrigued by him and what he can do. I like his confidence. I like what he can do in the pocket. I'm intrigued.
I think the upside is endless. I think the upside is really huge there. So that's always exciting to me. It'd be more exciting to me as a Vikings fan. As an actual fan of the NFL team, I think I'd be more inclined to draft him. In fantasy, I'm going to try to be looking for the safer bets pretty much especially when you're spending an early pick. And I think Daniels has that with that. McCarthy, I hate. I'm not big on McCarthy. I just really think that this is going to be a weak class when all is said and done. I think Caleb's going to be good, and I think there's going to be a lot of guys that don't work out.
Hold on a second. I'm going to write this down right now. Louie said that all these guys would
go ahead. Go ahead.
You're doing the fantasy receipts on him.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I say a lot of dumb shit on my podcast. I don't mind saying it on yours too. I make very strong, opinionated guesses that are usually wrong, but I stand by them. That's my shtick.
and that's what everyone should stand by. I think it's funny. That's what they were to say, with the receipts and things like that. Real quickly, who gives a fuck? Everybody predicts things that are wrong. The thing is, if you do the math says this A plus A equals this, and this is what your guys are saying, right? But it's not like analysts are just saying, oh, let me just he's cute and I like the way he dresses. I'm going to give you this advice, And sometimes shit doesn't happen the way it is because guess what? Sometimes it rains on your wedding day. You can't control the weather and you can't control what happens. So I speak what your mind is. I think that's crazy. If anybody ever came back and said Yvette said this, I'd be like, you the fuck, right? I said that. And that should have happened. Anyways,
what kind of math class?
Flowers.
What kind of math class teaches A plus A? By the way, A plus A just equals A. That's
2A.
all.
It equals 2A or A to the squared. A squared.
It is a Scrabble word, just for all you Scrabble players. If you ever want to use double A, you can. I don't want to brag, but I'm kind of big time Scrabble player. All right, I'm sorry. I cut you off. Going to Bowers.
No, you're fine because I thought that too. I'm like, it's not A plus B, it's but whatever. Yeah, Brock Bowers, I think that he is. You guys are talking about other people you wouldn't draft high. What about this guy? He could play like a wide receiver. He's a tight end. He'll probably go in the first round. Rachel, you want to start? Tell us like anything you think about Brock Bowers.
I think,
Or do I
there's
say it
talk
like
about he might go to the Chargers. I don't know what other teams are in contention for him, but he's definitely going to be a standout. I mean, we talk about rookie tight ends don't usually do much their first year, but Brock Bowers is going to be maybe another Sam Laporta kind of tight end. He's going to make a difference. So it's going to be interesting which team snatches him up.
Yeah, I think it's important to get rid of that mindset. And I'm not saying that you have that, but I think you're actually making the same point I'm going to make, is that the days of tight ends not, working out right away are done. You had Kincaid, you had Laporta. The offenses are more open, where they're using tight ends and slots and stuff. It's not like a traditional tight end where they have to learn how to block and all this stuff. He's going to spend a lot of time in the slot. He's got the most athletic ability ever. I think that that's an old way of thinking. And honestly, with Bowers, I think, I mean, a lot of my dynasty leagues are super flex, but they're also tight end premium, but you have to start 2 tight ends. So the tight ends just as important as every other position. In those drafts where I have my 1-1s, I will be between Caleb, Bowers, and Harrison, and it all is going to depend on where I need team need. I think all 3 of them are worthy of the number 1 pick in rookie drafts. Bowers maybe not in a traditional 1 tight end league or anything like that, but I think he's going to be he's something special. I mean, I saw it with Kincaid last year, what an athletic tight end can do for an offense here in Buffalo. I think he's going to trump Kincaid. I mean, Kincaid had 70 catches and everybody thought he sucked. He's going to have 100 catches plus this year because, no digs. I think Bowers is going to be Laporta, if not better. Today, he's my number 1 tight end. Yeah, I have him over Laporta, like in dynasty.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I would draft him. I would trade Laporta straight up for him in a dynasty league right now.
Where do you hope that he gets drafted, Bowers?
I kind of hope it's not at LA, like you said, because I know I'm hearing a lot of that too. I think like Tennessee can work. The joke is Atlanta. We'll just have Pitts and him and that. But no, I think Tennessee 7, Jets at 10 would be really scary, as far as he'd be insane this year, but I'm a little bit more afraid to put my hat on somebody if there's not long-term like quarterbacking there. And, Rodgers is probably only playing 1 more year. I think he would be off the charts this year and he would be great, but I would be a little bit more hesitant to draft him in rookie drafts, only because of the long-term quarterback situation there in New York. And also then I have to root for him twice against the Bills a year, and I don't know if I want to do all that either. So
I wanted to get through some of just some of the comments today that I posted that I had both of you coming on, and some of the things that associate with the teams that you root for. And of course, I had to start with just pause it. My friend and co-host of the Squad Pod that went straight to her love, Kevin Stefanski, who used to be one of the coaches. He wasn't the head coach, right? He was one of the coaches of the Vikings.
Right.
Let's see. Sorry, I hate this thing that sticks so bad. All right, I'm gonna go. Okay, here we go. There he is. My dad, Jessica, my husband, the quarterback. I just wanted to share some of the comments. Color purple, 0 Lombardies, school. What's on that? Pause this for a second. Sorry. If you can read that fast, then shame on you. You should learn how to read faster. Um, going back, are they ever going to win a Super Bowl?
That
That's
hurts.
okay.
That hurts.
I
That
can
hurts
deal with
both
that
of us here.
round.
Like
Yeah,
that feels like a personal attack on Buffalo and Minnesota. So
yeah. Well, I was
I
going to
don't
bring
know.
up yours. That I don't even know if I brought it because I think that's all that they said. Let's see. Let me find the Buffalo one, and then we are going to play a little theme here. Where's
So
my
what was your answer? Your answer was the color purple. Was that
Yeah.
what your answer was? Rachel, what do you think when you see that logo? What's your, because you're the Vikings fan.
It's my team. I love them, even though they've been sad lately. But we're going to draft an amazing quarterback, and we're going to change the tide. We're going to do it. This is our year, right, Yvette? The whole
Yes, it is. It
saying.
is your year. It is your year. Oh snap!
I think the first thing I think of is either like Jeff George just throwing like Hail Marys every play that he was there that year or two, or Randy Moss was, obviously the best player in the league to watch there for a few years. So that's it's a little Minnesota connection.
I always think of Minneapolis Miracle. That was quite a moment. I always like to replay that once in a while just to celebrate some goodness of Vikings. And
Yeah.
that's with some Stefan Diggs. Back in
Yeah,
his prime.
I won't be watching that anymore, celebrating, and he's on my shit list. But maybe I'll get over it one day.
All right, guys, that brings us to the first game of the night. Because we're on Bougie Sports, I wanted to ask you whether or not you think this player is going to rise or fall from last year. And I named this game Prada or Nada. So Prada means yes, you think this person's going to rise, or Nada means you think they're going to fall. But you're not necessarily, Nada doesn't mean you think they're going to be bad, just that they're not going to be as good as the hype as where they have. You got it?
Got it.
All right. Okay, so the first player that I have, and sorry, I don't know how to pause my thing fast enough right here. Is that Devon A-Chain? Devon A-Chain. That is, sorry, my glasses. Okay. So running back for Miami, had a couple monster games with an injury. I heard a couple things about both. So you guys, we'll start with you on this one. Is he going to be Prada or Nada?
It's hard not to think Prada. I mean, if he ends up, if he ends up getting maybe more competition, I know Mostert's still there, but he's another year older. I think that I don't think Tua is good. I just don't. And I know he threw for the most passing yards in the league last year. So that's tough for me it's a tough argument to go, but I think he comes down to earth this year. And I mean, H-Man fantasy points per game last year was like number one. I mean, he was the monster. He was the guy to have. If he could, the only thing that's a nada is if he gets hurt. But if he stays healthy, he's Prada all day.
Okay. Rachel?
I think Prada as well. He was progressing throughout the year. I know there's competition with Mostert, and I'm one of the biggest Mostert fans on earth. But again, like Louie said, he's 1 year older, and I think H-Man is just going to keep rising and keep rising. Prada.
Yeah. I'm Prada all the way with you guys, too. I have Prada for H-Chain, and I'm okay, did it pause? All right. Stefan Diggs, if anyone doesn't know, traded from the Buffalo Bills to the Houston Texans. We'll start with you, Rachel. Is he going to be Prada or Nada on the new Texans team?
Well, he wasn't really super last year on the Bills, right?
No.
So I don't know how to quantify this, but I think I'm not going to discount Nico Collins and Tank Dell. I'm just not. And then Dalton Schultz is still there. I mean, CJ Stroud is a beast. He's going to be throwing to all his weapons probably evenly. So yeah, Diggs will be in the mix, but I don't think maybe he won't be like the superstar number one that's going to be way above the rest. I think it's going to be a great offense, definitely, but I'm going to say nada.
Yeah. No, let me go Nada here. I'll start off by saying Nada, but this is not a personal thing against Diggs. I have been on this podcast. Wait a second. I have been on this podcast sticking up for Diggs. I have. I for the whole Josh Allen him thing, I suck up for him. I was a big fan. He's gone a little awry here, but let me use real fast. He's only projected. He's never not had 1,000-yard season here in the last 7 years. He's only his Vegas number right now is 949 over under. Like that makes me think that they don't think he's going to have that big of a role. Like Rachel said, I'm not this. I mean, Nico Collins and Tank Dell, depending on when Tank Dell comes back, is good. They've always found a way to use their fourth or fifth guys. Noah Brown had big games last year. Even Mechie had one big game. I think just like Rachel said, I think they're going to spread the ball out, and this move only hurts. It probably brings Stroud up, but I think it really hurts all three of their redraft prices. One thing I would do if I was a dynasty player that liked Tank Dell, I think Tank Dell can be caught on the cheap right now because of the situation, because he came off an injury. And don't forget, Nico Collins doesn't have first round draft pedigree either. He could be the one that goes next year. I think Tank Dell is the one that I want out of the three in a dynasty aspect. Redraft, I think it's going to be really hard. I think each week it's going to be, think of some other great offenses where we've gone through. You just never know who's going to pop that week. I think you're going to get that every week or I think you're going to get that every week this year. I think he'll have monster games and then have shit games. But Nada. I want to say Nada again. I want to make my answer perfectly clear.
It's Nada. I have to side with you guys. There's just too many weapons there, and he's not going to get the ball enough, and he's going to be a dickhead like he always does because he's got to follow the grind. Let's keep continuing going with Drake London over here, and new quarterback. Are we Prada or are we Nada? We'll start with Rachel on this one.
I'm gonna go Prada. Kirk Cousins knows how to throw to a wide receiver one, and Drake London is just that. And I think he's going to have a really great year with Kirk Cousins, and I think they're going to have a great chemistry together.
Yeah. I am Drake London's biggest fan, and he's kind of, he has not at least paid back my investment to him. I mean, I know that he's had decent years, but I mean, I have this guy as one of my favorites, and obviously the offense been running there has been brutal. Things scare me a little bit because his value skyrocketing so much with Cousins, and because of what Rachel said, the wide receiver one. If you look at all of Cousins' wide receiver ones, the years he didn't have Justin Jefferson, whether it be in Washington or the 1 or 2 years that he had Thielen before Jefferson, not great blow up numbers. So was it him using the number one guy, or is it Justin Jefferson, or is it a combination of both? There's other talented players on that team. I like Mooney a lot. Pitts should be a beast. I don't know if that's ever going to show. I'm indifferent here, but I'm going to say Prada because he's one of my favorites, but I don't see it being a huge leap. I'll say that.
So mild Prada, like Prada that you get in China.
Yeah, buy with caution. Yes.
Or Prado.
Yes. Buy Drake London on the New York streets. That's where you need to buy Drake London.
All right. What about here? I have quarterback Justin Herbert. Go ahead, Louie. Start with you.
It's almost going down.
We don't need a book. We don't need a 5 hour. We just need a Prada or Nada.
Nada.
Thank you.
I mean, Harbaugh's going to run the ball more. I don't like his offense with him. He might get out of here sooner rather than later. I think that there might be a divorce in that marriage. Hopefully he goes to somewhere else where he can throw the ball. I think he's really talented, but I think he goes down in that offense. Nada.
I'm gonna go nada. Like last year was disappointing as well. I don't see how he's going to rebound from last year. I mean, I want him to, obviously, and I want the Chargers to do well, but they're who do they have on their offense right now? Like it's pretty piddly. So so definitely nada. Yeah, he doesn't have anyone to throw to right now. Very nada. Very nada.
I'm just gonna go Prada, just because you guys both went nada. And I feel
just
bad.
to be different. So you can have the receipt later saying, "Hey, I told you."
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I was so. They all said nada, and I said Prada.
I was so right about Justin Herbert. You guys should have listened to me.
Oh man, let me pause that because that was my guy. I love me some Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones went from the Minnesota Vikings, or no, Green Bay Packers to the Minnesota Vikings, right? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Do you think that makes him more Prada or nada? Go ahead, Louie. You'll start while I get this thing right. What's my thing up?
I think it's not a big time. I don't mean to. Yeah, I think it's not a big time. Now he kept on producing. I mean, I know last year he got banged up with the injuries, but I've kind of been nada on him for the last few years. He's proved me wrong the couple before that. Last year his body finally broke down. I can't see him staying healthy for a whole season at his age. That offense is not going to be great, obviously, this year, and so they'll ask him to do a lot. I'm not on him. Pretty big. I'm avoiding him at almost every cost in my draft so far.
Rachel?
I am going to go Prada on him. You know, I'm a Vikings fan. It's weird to be rooting for Aaron Jones. He was a Packer, and like this feels weird. But I mean, they're going to have either Sam Darnold or they're going to have a rookie quarterback. They're going to have to dump the ball off. So Aaron Jones is going to produce fantasy-wise, at least for the first half of the season. So I'm going Prada. I'm saying it's going to be Aaron Jones, and the Vikings is very popular with their run game. That's one of their things that they've always traditionally had. So I think they're going to get back to what they had with Dalvin Cook and have Aaron Jones run the ball, and while the quarterback, whoever it is, gets acclimated and gets to know the system. I'm going to say Prada, Aaron Jones.
You know, I'm going Prada. Anyone that can ride in sombrero like that with those arms.
Those are some good arms. Yes.
And I think that's just same thing with Tua. Why do we don't like Tua? He's so good. Same thing with Aaron Jones. It's like Aaron Jones is gonna suck. When has he shown you that he sucks? He doesn't, but we still he's a
30-year-old running back on a bad team. The only good thing about it is he is a good pass catcher, and they're going to be losing a lot of games, so he might be okay in PPR. Sorry, Rachel. I saw your.
I was losing a lot of games. I'm like,
I saw your disdain. I'm sorry.
Like the sacrilege. What are you saying? Well, look at the Bills. How are they gonna do now?
They'll be fine.
I know I went through a couple of these, but I have another slide I want to get to, and I want to make sure that we have enough time. So we'll start with I know we talked to him, Kyle Pitts. I think you guys mentioned before, are we Prada or nada on Kyle Pitts this year?
Oh my god. Like, I mean, he didn't. Wait, who do you want first? Sorry.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Okay. Well, I mean, compared to last year, I think he's got to be better than that. So I'm gonna say Prada. I mean, hopefully Kirk Cousins will throw the ball to him. I mean, I want the best for Kyle Pitts. I think he's just been screwed over by coaching schemes and whatnot or whatever. He deserves a chance. So hopefully Kirk Cousins gives him that. I'm rooting for him, so I'm going to say Prada.
There's like zero chance, like she said, that you could put him nada because like he is just his value is I've never it's just but believers like us like want to believe in him still. I mean, all my dynasty teams that had him, it's not like I could trade him for anything. So at this point, I'm just holding and hoping for the best. I think he's got the best situation this year that he's had in his career by far. So Prada and hopefully to the friggin' moon. I hope he goes to the moon. I love him.
I agree. Who is that? Oh, DeAndre Swift. Real quick. Not on DeAndre Swift.
Swift
That's
is
another
in.
one. We're waiting for him to break out, right? Like,
that's Swift in Chicago now, correct? Yes.
I was trying to think, where is he at?
Yeah, he's in Chicago now. He's in Chicago. I'll sorry. I mean, I like the Chicago running game. They always are conscious, put a conscious effort in. Like you said, Yvette, like he's always we're kind of waiting for him to pop. Now this is on two different teams where it didn't work out. He'll get one more chance here. I think I want to go Nada. I just don't think he's. I think I want to stop believing in him. The talent seems there, but something's off. So I'm going to go Nada on Swift.
I'm also gonna go Nada. I don't think I've ever been a big Swift fan. I just haven't bought into him, and yeah, I'm just not feeling it. I'm Nada.
yeah. I think it depends on. I don't even know where where he's getting ranked at. Probably if he's there at a good value, then maybe. Because who knows? He has to break up sometime. But somebody I'm definitely hoping for a Nada on is this dude right here who has the most hateable face in football. And if you ask me, Aaron Rodgers, this is going to be a Nada for me. It's a no. It's a no. I just had to say that just so I could say Nada on him. It doesn't matter what he does. It's not biased at all. Nada. You guys?
Where do you want to start?
Go ahead, Louie.
All right.
No,
I agree with you. There is no one in the world that I would rather see get punched in the face, break an ankle. I mean, I all the bad things that I like. I want him to get a venereal disease. Like I want him to and everything. Like nothing. I don't want him to die, but I want him to deal with every inconvenient thing that he can deal with for the rest of his life because he's so fucking annoying. Excuse my language, but it is so brutal. That being said, he's only proved me wrong. I mean, he keeps going. The last year that he had almost an MVP year. I know no one comes off of this injury and does well. If anybody can do it, it's he's in the woods doing mushrooms, healing his leg. And from someone who loves doing mushrooms, I can tell you it really helps your overall aura. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I think he's product. I think he's gonna have a decent year.
Rachel?
I'm gonna go Nada. I can't Prada on Aaron Rodgers as a Vikings fan. For the past many years, it's been Nada on Aaron Rodgers. I am not a fan. I think he's a punk, and I don't like him. But I do feel bad for Garrett Wilson, so I do want Garrett Wilson to be okay. So I'm conflicted, but I'm still gonna say Nada. I can't cheer for Aaron Rodgers.
I was say I think I have Garrett Wilson here. Let's just stop there since you mentioned Garrett Wilson. Nada or Prada? Rachel, we'll start.
Well, am I contradicting myself? I want to say Prada for him.
No,
I'm going to root against Aaron Rodgers, but root for Garrett Wilson. So Prada for him, if that's possible. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers does horribly, but Garrett Wilson does great. However that would work out.
Yeah, I'm a big Garrett Wilson guy too, and want to see it work. And I mean, just imagine he has not had anything to work with. So if Rodgers is even 70% of what he is, it's going to be great. I think Mike Williams helps Wilson a little bit more than he hurts him. I think Mike Williams is a good little, the fact that he's a decent number 2 will take some of the targets and some of the shine off of Wilson. I think Wilson could be a top 5 receiver this year. So if Rodgers stays healthy. So I love that. I'm going Prada all day.
Yes. Real quick, just not our products. I skipped him real quick, but Cooper Kupp. And there's going to be a lot of competition, obviously, with picking Kua there. Are you guys still buying into Cooper Kupp? Rachel, we'll start with you. I know it's hard. That's
a hard one. I mean, Kupp had injury last year, right? He had an injury.
Yeah, he got hurt in the beginning of the year. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Prada. I think the injury is what plagued him last year. I mean, even with Puka, I think they could be a good 1-2 punch. Puka might be the one now, but I think Cup will still have redeeming qualities. I'm gonna go Prada.
Yeah.
As the official Puka Nakua fan club member and owner that I am, I'm gonna go Nada, and it's not so much about Puka as it is aging quarterback, good running game, aging himself in Cup. I just think he's on his decline. I don't think it's gonna be horrible, but I think the next couple of years you'll see him decline a little bit.
Speaking of coming up from injury, Anthony Richardson, who I'm extremely high on. I think it's because I took him in a lot of leagues last year and was happily surprised in the very few games that he played. And I know it was a very small sample size, but he was really good. I think better than I expected. I see him coming back and maybe being as good as CJ Stroud. Are you guys proud of that or not eyeing it? Wait.
I am Anthony Richards' biggest fan. He's I mentioned Caleb being a top 5 guy. He's a top 5 guy for me right now in quarterbacks, and his value is maybe the best it's going to ever be, right? Because of the injury, and some people might be worried about that. So if you could get him in your dynasty leagues, this is the time, because I think he's going to go on to a Hall of Fame career and you'll never be able to get him for this cheap again. So I'm Prada all day on Richardson.
Yes, I am definitely Prada on Anthony Richardson. I think he is going to want to come back and show what he's got. He's super talented, and he's like, that injury should not have sidelined him. And it's like, he needs to come and show what he's got, and he's ready to do that. I think definitely Prada.
Heck yeah. And the last people I had there was Josh Jacobs and Joe Mixon. I'll ask you this. Between the two, who are you buying more into to do better and then change?
Rach, there you go.
I'm going to go Joe Mixon on the Texans. I just think that offense is going to be no joke. I mean, there's a lot of weapons, but I think they're just going to be firing. They're going to run. They're going to pass. I think it's just going to be a very entertaining offense to watch. And if I was not such a big Vikings fan, I might be a Texans fan. I think that might become my second favorite team. This year is going to be very fun to watch them. So I'm going Mixon.
I'm 100% with you. Mixon's gonna, if he could be the Jalen Hurts of that offense, where he just, scores a lot of touchdowns down at the 1 and 2 yard line on a very great offense, he's gonna eat up touchdowns. I think he's gonna be used in the passing game more than he ever has been. I love Mixon.
Yeah, and with both of you guys too. I think it's hard because Josh Jacobs is another one where you're just waiting for him to be good, but he hasn't really been good. And he wasn't good last year, I don't really see in, he took Aaron. I don't think they wanted to switch teams, but if I had it between Aaron Jones or Josh Jacobs, I'm going Aaron Jones too.
Yeah, I think
I think he's more talented. I just really think he's a better talented player than Josh Jacobs. Though that was so fun, and actually we are at an hour right now, and I had so much more, but that's okay because I know Louie has another podcast to do, and I don't like to go over an hour because I think nobody, not even me, as entertaining as I am, can carry an audience longer than an hour. He got over an hour, but a lot of fun. You guys, Louie said you're definitely going back to the expo.
Yes, I'm definitely going to be at the expo this August.
Yes.
Can't wait. I will see you there, Yvette.
Yes. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit about the what you do at the Women of Fantasy Football.
Yes, Unwind.
Yes.
Yeah, so I host these Zoom events for women involved with fantasy football or just women who love football. This Friday, April 12th, we'll have our 10th one of these events. So you can just reach me at Tootsie Pop 6 on Twitter or on Instagram if you wanted to come join the fun. It's just a bunch of amazing women. We talk about football, we talk about fantasy, we talk about life, we talk about whatever. And whatever happens at Unwind stays at Unwind. So you have to come to check out what happens there.
Absolutely.
I need to be invited one day. I want to be a fly on that wall. That's it.
You should do that.
I will cross my legs and talk about anything you guys want. I am I've been getting into Love is Blind. I have some things I can talk about. My shit is just analytics are for the nerds. Check us out. Wednesdays usually at 9:00. Tonight we got Stacey Perez on, so if you catch this before or after, you can go back and listen to that. Yeah, I guess that's all. I was going to start doing comedy stuff, but no one's going to come from Cleveland to Buffalo for my comedy stuff.
You can always post it online if you post it online.
Yeah. Follow me at FF_Louie, and you'll see all my gigs and info.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you follow both of my guests, both amazing people doing awesome, fun, different themes, and that's why I love them the most. I like Louie, your podcast has a different edge to it. You do fun, different themes in the comedy, and Rach, what you're doing for women and fantasy football. And I'm so proud of you for just coming on the show. I know this is only your second podcast, and it takes a lot. I know there's a lot of people out there, and you can attest to this, that when it comes to content creation and just coming out of your show and doing things, it takes guts, and it's awesome. So I'm so happy that you trusted me to come on the show, and hope that everyone follows you and follows Women of Fantasy Football and supports everything that you guys are doing up there. So, perfect. And also real quick, Louie, can you tell us quickly about the Buffalo live draft that you're hosting for the Scott Fish Bowl?
Oh yeah, so me and Mike Shope have done the Scott Fish Bowl live drafts the last 4 years. This year we got 4 going. It's gonna be the most that we're gonna do in one day. We got a big brewery called Fatty Beer that we have. There's still spots to sign up if you're interested in coming to Buffalo. I think that I have about 3/4 of the people that I have approved already. There are some spots that are not approved yet. So if you're interested, it's a really good time. We do a great fundraiser, as all of them are. But yeah, that's at Fatty Beer in Buffalo, New York, July something. July something. Look at my Twitter.
Yes. And a lot of people don't know, just to apply for the Scott Fish Bowl, you just have to go to scottfishbowl.com. That's the first thing you have to do, right? To just apply to get.
You go and you apply there, and then
if you don't apply. Yep.
Yeah, go and do that. And then if you want to be part of one of the specific live drafts, there's also a place on the site where you can say, I want to draft here, I want to head draft there. Where it's the live drafts are becoming the thing with Scott Fish Bowl. I mean, this year it's all over the world, Vegas, and I think they had some in London, and all this stuff. So it's really crazy what this thing went from 5-6 years ago even to what it is today. So props to Scott Fish and that whole process too.
Absolutely, so fun. I want to do live draft.
You should.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It depends on where they go. But I could also do the one at the expo, right? I think they might. I don't
think he does one at the expo. Sorry to ruin your dreams.
Anyways, on that note, great. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. What a fun show. Please, like I said, follow everybody. Subscribe. We all have to help each other out here, and I think we should support each other by doing things like that. Like, it's the easiest thing, just giving someone a like and a subscribe to their YouTube channel. Like I said, 2 golf events coming up. And I think that's all I got. I'm rushing because I want to watch yesterday's Vanderpump Rules. I ain't gonna lie either. I had a Vanderpump Rules scene in my last slide too. I wanted to talk about, but I didn't get to watch yesterday too. But with that, you guys,
Thanks, Yvette.
Bye, guys. Bye,
You're the
Rach.
best. Bye, Louie.
You guys, wait for 1 second. Bye, guys. Bye. Not you guys, but these guys. Bye. Bye, not you guys, but these guys. They said, oh, wait.